Great day, medical term students. This is Dr. Phelps. We're going to get started. I just want to, first of all, make sure that you guys know I'm looking at my screen here. So we have a lot of announcements that I've placed on within this announcement for this week 3. And it's because we're moving forward into medical terminology and we're moving away from what we've been doing over the last 2 weeks, which is to get to know each other and get to know the course. But there are still individuals who are in the class and this may be their first week coming to the module. So coming to our modules. So you're going to be hearing me repeat things over and over again that you maybe already heard since the 17th because you've been here since day 1. But just be understanding right now because there are some individuals that this is their first day at midterms. So welcome to midterms. We're in week 3, even though you're now have 2 weeks that are behind you that you will have to go back and get caught up on. It's not going to be that difficult for you to hop in on week 3 right now where you're at and then go back and do weeks 1 and 2. But stay with us this week because the information that is in week 1 and week 2 is definitely information that you need, but will not hinder you proceeding with the class during week 3. So if I was you, I would suggest that you continue with us through the week 3. You will be finished with everything in my module by my Break It Down Thursdays and Fridays. And on Break It Down Thursday and Friday time, when we will be working with, when I'll be asking questions about the modules that we're in 3, that's when you can work on modules 1 and 2. And that way by the time the weekend is over and we start week 4, you'll be all caught up. So stay with us right now. And then when you get the email for Break It Down Thursday or Break It Down Friday, whichever one you'll be this week, we will address the 2 modules that you need to go back and do so that you can do it without causing a lot of unneeded stress about how to get caught up. All right, so great day. This is week 3. The announcements for week 3 are termed Getting to Know Your Course. So this week we're into midterms and we're going to be talking about midterms and we're going to be talking about things like how do you make how do you break down words? Where do medical terms come from? What are the ways that medical terms are, what's the importance of medical term? Why do we need medical terms? So when you first start off this week, that's what I'm talking about. I say, welcome to week 4. I talk about the fact that the last 2 weeks we were in the baby pool and we were kind of just getting to know each other and getting to know the course. Now we're going to move into deeper waters because now we're going to be dealing with medical terms and getting more into the course. I talk about in the announcements about the asynchronous and the synchronous assignments that are in our course, that the asynchronous times are on Canvas, which are the modules, and the synchronous times are like when you are on Zoom with Dr. Phelps. I talk about what that means, being on Zoom versus being with me versus not being there. And I asked you to choose wisely and to come to the Zooms classes, the Zoom instruction, because during the Zoom instruction, you're going to be catapulted. In science, we talk of things being a catalyst. A catalyst is something that grabs something else and speeds it up to a speed that otherwise, without it, it wouldn't be able to go. So Dr. Phelps is a catalyst. And when I grab a hold of you, you go faster and further than you could do it on your own. So that's why I'm pressing and pushing so hard to get you guys to realize that you need to go to your Zoom meetings, not only with Dr. Phelps, but in all of your classes, because the Zoom meetings for all of your classes are catalysts. It's going to make you be able to do what you need to do faster and with more success than you trying to stumble through it by yourself. In grades 9 through 12, it's not a time to be stumbling by yourself when you have a worth of information around you. Most teachers here eager to help, eager to give, eager to share. So utilize that, okay? Smart students, utilize that. I talk about the syllabus. Keep calm and read the syllabus. You do not have to send me an email every time your Wi-Fi goes down, or every time you're not going to make it to one of my Zoom meetings or to my class. What you do have to do is go watch the Zoom meeting that's in the archives for our class and do the assignments. As long as you do the assignments and as long as you do and you watch the video in the archive, you're on course. So I do not want to get any more emails saying, Dr. Phelps, I just tried to log on and I can't. Unless you're trying to allow me to help you into the Zoom meeting. And what you realize is once I'm in that Zoom meeting and once I'm talking with the students, I don't go back and look at my emails, because I give the students in the Zoom meeting my 100% attention. So if you're dinging me and saying, Dr. Phelps, I can't get in, Dr. Phelps, I can't get in, something is wrong that Dr. Phelps can't fix. Because if you can get in once with the link, you should be able to get in every time with the link, unless there's a Wi-Fi issue. And guess what? There's nothing that you can do or Dr. Phelps can do about a Wi-Fi issue that won't let you upload for the second. That's just kind of the nature of what you have when you have online. So we have to extend grace and mercy on the administrative and the teacher side to know that that's fact. The grace and mercy are the videos in the archives. So go get the video, watch the video, do the video, and do the assignment and stay on course, and then we're fine. I talk about looking at the syllabus and the announcements. We talk about every time that we have announcements moving forward, there would be an objective for the week. So I talk about this week's objective, which is we're going to describe the 2 ways in which medical terms are formed. And so that's where we're going to be going for this week. And so you're going to find out the way those 2 medical words are formed, the way medical words are formed, by doing reading assignments. So the first thing you do when you click on, you're going to go to a reading assignment. And then after the reading assignment, there'll be a video. The video is an external link. You will go out to study.com and you'll watch the video. While you're watching the video, Dr. Phelps is able to put, I put messages in the video. Sometimes I will put a message in the video, and that message that's in that video will be something that will give you extra points on something someplace else. Just trying to get you to do the steps that I asked you to do, but then also spreading a little bit of love throughout it when the people who do what they're supposed to do are where they're supposed to be, so that they can see what they need to be seeing. So when you're looking at the video, look at it all and listen to it all, because there may be little treasures along the way throughout the year that will give you points that you can use in our treasure box, or our cash, what you can use to buy stuff out of the treasure box with our med terms class bucks. And then you're going to have one quiz, and you're going to have a quiz every week, and that quiz is going to be over the reading assignment that you just did, and then the video. You can take notes in the video. You can go back and look at the video more than once. You can pull the video up like I'm doing right now, and you can have the video up and the words up while the quiz is going. Dr. Phelps is not trying to make this hard. I want the 3 things that I talked about you pulling away from this class are the still most important key things. Yes, Dr. Phelps, I'm a doctor. I want this. This is what I'm doing. This encourages me. I want more. Or, Dr. Phelps, I'm still not really sure if I want to be a doctor or what I want to do. Maybe I'll take some more science classes and see how I feel once I take anatomy and physiology, or once I take, I like kids, but I don't know. I'm still on the fence, but I know I need to take more. I know I need to keep investigating. Or, Dr. Phelps, not for me. I never want to see another medical term. I don't care how the body works. I realize that I want to go do hair. I realize that I want to go, be an engineer. I realize that I like math and formulas more than I really like dealing with people. These are the 3 questions that are important for you to grab a hold of in this class, okay? And so we're going to have quizzes. Now, the quiz, you have 3 attempts to take the quiz. What I would suggest is that you do 2 of them yourself to see if you can get a 100, a complete score. After you do 2, let's just say you're still got 1 that, you got the first time you got 3 out of 5, the second time you got 4 out of 5. So there's 1 of them that you just still keep struggling with. Leave the 2 attempts and then come to my break it down Friday or Thursday. We're going to go over the quiz together. You're going to be able to ask me the questions. And then after we answer those questions and take those questions, at the end of the hour when I say, if you don't have any questions, you can leave, go take the 3rd attempt again, and then you'll get them all right. So I'm not trying to get you to not get a perfect score. I'm trying to get the information to stay with you, so that once Dr. Phelps teaches you something about that stays with you forever, that you don't have to go back and reread or relearn something that you need from the base again. That medical terms is going to be like pillars that will allow your science career or journey or experiences to have a solid foundation to build up on, okay? So we're going to have the quizzes. That's how I would suggest. Do 2, save 1 for after Break It Down Friday or Thursday. And then you're going to have synchronous lesson with Dr. Phelps or asynchronous. I need to change that because that's wrong. You're either going to have an asynchronous, because it says you're going to have an asynchronous lesson with Dr. Phelps or a synchronous lesson without Dr. Phelps. Those need to be switched. But see, that's why it's good that I do this, because it allows me to go back and read my announcements and make sure that everything is aligning before I submit it out tomorrow and I open it up so that you guys can see it. So what this needs to say is you're going to have a synchronous lesson with Dr. Phelps every week, and you're going to have an asynchronous lesson that you do without Dr. Phelps on Canvas every week. You have to choose one of those. So if you come to class with me, you will not have to do the asynchronous discussion this week without me. But one of those 2 lessons will be counted for a grade. So you need to do one of the 2. If you don't come to my Zoom lesson and you still try to do the asynchronous lesson, you can't, because there's not one up there. It says Dr. Phelps you can read it and you can do everything, but the ones of you that have been in my Zoom lesson, I share my screen with you. We work on it together. You put the answers in my chat. So there's no way for you to put the answers in the chat if you're not on the chat. So that's why you need to be there. Okay? And it says other assignments. The other assignment that's there is called Sam Houston High School Attendance Self-Check-In. And I know that you've heard all about that from the other teachers and other students maybe. Maybe your parent has came and said, are you using the self-check to check in? The self-check to check in is good for anyone who's trying to check in from 3:15 to 11:55 p.m. That time frame, when the teacher is no longer on the clock, no longer monitoring, no longer watching it, and you come and you do some work and you did not sign into class that day. That's the way for you to still get credit for being asynchronous on Canvas. Does nothing for your synchronous experience with the teacher that Dr. Phelps is so encouraging you guys not to miss in any of your classes. So therefore, the link is there. I want you to go read what the assignment says. And then on Thursday, when we have our discussion, we'll discuss it. Okay? So right now, I just want you to read what the page says. Write down if you have any questions. And when we discuss it, you can voice your opinion and your attitude. And Dr. Phelps will tell you how she would prefer the form be used for midterms. So we're going to talk about that on Break It Down Thursday or Break It Down Friday as well. Okay. And then the next thing it says is please click here to watch the video. So now you're going to, and this video was 15 minutes and I'm so sorry. And I try to keep them, they will get smaller and smaller and smaller as we move forward. But while we're still allowing people in the class, people need to hear some of the things that I said over week 1 and week 2. By the time we get to week 4, I won't be repeating the things that I said in week 1 or week 2 to everyone. So the takeaway from this today is you're going to go and you're going to read my announcements. If you're new, you're going to start on week 3. Everybody start right here on week 3. When we get to Break It Down Thursday and Friday, I'll explain to you if this is your first day, or your first week, and you need to catch up. But for right now, flow with the rest of the class. If you're not new, you know how this is going to roll. You're going to go to the announcements, you're going to read the announcements or listen to the announcements, and then you're going to click next, which is going to take you to your next assignment. You're going to do your next assignment, which is a reading assignment. Then you're going to hit next again. That's going to take you to your next assignment, which is your video, which is going to take you outside to an external link that's study.com. Then you're going to come back to Canvas and you're going to take your quiz. You're going to take 2 of the attempts and save the third one. If the second one isn't a 5 out of 5, save the third one until after we have our synchronous Zoom meeting, because we're going to go over it. If you're not in the synchronous Zoom meeting, you can push next and you can go ahead and start on the asynchronous discussion that's in Canvas, and you will want to get started because you have questions that you have to answer and you have a peer that you have to review, and if all of that has to be done for your grade. Okay. And I think that's it. Other than that, I will see you face to face at our Zoom meeting, and I'm expecting everyone to be there. You have a blessed week, and we're going to have a blessed week. And thank you so much for hanging out with me for 17, almost 18 minutes. So I appreciate it. But trust me, this is going to make the rest of the week flow really well. Bye-bye.